Good morning, friends, and welcome back to more Ace Attorney. So I hope everyone is having a fantastic 4th of July. For me, I don't have anything to do until this evening, so I figure I might as well finish this case, hopefully. Since we've more or less found out the truth now that Emma accidentally murdered Neil Marshall, the case can't be that much longer. So I have a feeling our goal now is to find out, well, why did they cover it up? So, I mean, obviously, okay, they covered it up because they were probably worried about Emma literally going to prison for murder, because apparently it seems like here in Japanifornia, even if you're 14 years old or 9 years old, you could still go to prison or be executed for murder, even if it was accidental. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up, but okay. So, I mean, if that's the case, I can't really blame them. It's still a crime, but, you know, anyway. I guess let's just get going on it. February 25th, 12:06, District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. I was already gonna resign anyway. I don't give a shit. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Also, I'm still losing my voice, so, sorry, you guys. I'll continue to have the loud squeaks. You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Wait a second, did we go back in time? Okay, good. I take it Lana's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here. She asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Wait. I get it, it's funny, it's a joke, but like, wasn't poor Gumshoe fired? Wait, he's giving us an evidence law textbook? I thought we went over the rules of evidence law already. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. Flashback. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. It's true. Wright, do your job. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough reading. Evidence law securely slipped into pocket from Miss Sky explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Alright, well, let's go ahead and read it real quick. Rules for submitting evidence. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Okay. I mean, well, that's why they hid it, I guess, is because if it was never submitted into evidence, it can't be shown without the approval of the police department. But again, these laws don't make any sense because we've done this several times now. We've already introduced evidence that wasn't approved. I don't know, man. This game, I'm really enjoying this game and I like this game, but like, this case especially really proves that the laws here in this in this court just are not consistent, for lack of a better word. Anyway. But it sounds like we're finally gonna have Gant testify, which would be great. I've been waiting for this the whole time. So of course, we can hopefully show him this, piece of cloth and be like, bruh. Oh, but I get it now. Because it's a piece of leather cloth. So, it was probably cut from Marshall's, leather vest. So now that makes sense. Okay, got it. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth. The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. That's true. So even if Lana and Gant years ago were trying to help protect Emma, Gant still killed a man. So, I mean, even if Goodman knew or figured it out and was gonna reopen the case, that still was no excuse to murder the man. I'm just saying. That was like the wrong thing you could have chosen to do for sure. Anyway, but I guess we'll find out why. At least that's the only thing I can think of is, Goodman figured it out, and on the last day of transferal was like, I'm gonna reopen this case, and Gant was like, fuck no, and murdered him. And then he had to call Lana and be like, bruh, yo sister's in trouble. I killed a man. I need help. I need you to do this. But I don't know, we'll see. I guess we will see. We're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25th, 12:52, District Court, Courtroom number 9.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing.
Wait, can't the defense call witnesses? Like, in the actual legal system? Why is this shocking? I don't know. You know what? I just need to take a moment. We need to just stretch the suspension of disbelief. Or whatever, suspension of belief. I can't even words right now because I'm so, like, I'm so out of it. Alright. We're just gonna, you know, roll with the punches here. Stop criticizing the game because I'm upset about that stupid puzzle. Alright. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Hell yeah, dude. Let's go, Edgy. I love that they're trying to get rid of him, too. Like, you know, just in general, they're trying to get rid of him because he's probably one of the last things that they had tied to the original case that could throw a wrench in it, and, well, here we are, throwing wrenches. Alright.
Then it's settled. The, defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance? This is me saving, so it's not my last chance? If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Hell yeah, Damon Gant. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. Alright, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
What would this bailiff's name be if it's not Todd? Alright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. Oh, there he goes doing the thing again. So, you want to play hardball, eh?
Please, Mr. Gant.
Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Acting? Why wouldn't you just say chief of police? Why would you say acting? That's weird. I mean, it's still true, technically, but the thing is normally you say acting when you're not actually in that designated role, so that's just why it seems weird. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto! What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. Why not both? You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Yeah, risks? Risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony.
Alright, here we go. It's finally time. Witness testimony, SL9 incident. Finally have this asshole on the stand. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. That's a lie. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and save here.
Is that when Dark was arrested?
Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head.
I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. Alright. Cross-examination, SL9 incident. Alright, save one more time. And as usual, we're gonna press all the statements and see what we can find out. Still in the middle of drinking my coffee, so don't mind me. Okay, as I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant, Lana Skye, also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. Okay. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. Let's not make a long story short. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. See, part of me has to wonder, though, if they didn't split up, if they just went the same way. And we just haven't heard that information yet. So he was probably right behind Neil when it happened. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. Okay, so what? Was that supposed to be that he got stuck in the elevator? How then would he have gotten up there at all? Because the power would have been out for quite a minute, and they still would have had to get him out of the elevator. I don't know. Honestly, I've never been stuck in an elevator during a power outage. I've only been stuck in an elevator because it stopped working. If the power came back on, would it suddenly just start working again? Probably, I guess. But we don't know how long the outage lasted, so. Alright, when I went to my office, I found Lana there. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Okay, well, you know what, we did kind of establish that Lana is really strong. So it is theoretically possible that she moved two grown-ass men by herself, just because we've more or less proved how strong she was. But in reality, her build doesn't lend much to the probability that she's able to do that. Okay, you know what? I said I was going to stop criticizing the game. I'm not criticizing the game. That was like that's a theory. Yeah, that's what it was, sure. Whew, that puzzle really got me in a mood, I gotta tell you what. Anyway. Okay. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently his head was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. Yeah, just go ahead and throw Lana right under the bus. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. I gotta press this statement. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. I'm wondering if it's that piece of cloth, because, it was found in his safe. But I don't know... Okay, so it's gotta be this statement, I guess. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna save right here, and we're gonna try the piece of cloth. If it isn't the piece of cloth, then I have no idea what it is. So, such is my life, I guess. Alright. Please be it. Oh, thank God. If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this?
What's that? And what's that on it? A handprint?
Chief Gant, your explanation, please. I don't know. You tell me, son. Huh? My dear Righto, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Uh-oh, not this again. Evidence law. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is that rag relevant to this trial?
It appears the defense was not prepared.
I guess it's too early to use this piece of evidence.
Please accept my profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance?
Well, okay. I'll do it just this once, but only because you asked, Udgy.
Thank you. I assure you the defense is terribly sorry.
Yeah, sorry I didn't nail you. Oh shit, really? Oh, hell, but wait. That didn't, Wait, that didn't penalize me? What? Wait. Shit. So, it didn't penalize me, but that was still the wrong piece of evidence. Shit. Is it the jar? You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Okay, maybe this was it then? Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
That's the blue badger you showed us earlier.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. Oh, I wonder if I could have used the evidence list also.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this?
Ho! Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. I didn't even say receive properly. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Aw. Poor Gumshoe.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
Hell yeah, let's go, Judge.
I am pretty awesome.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Explain, you piece of shit. Okay. Evidence and forgery. Witness testimony. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Ooh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Alright, Udgy. In return, though.
I know. That place, right?
Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? Alright, cross-examination, evidence and forgery. I have to wonder if I'm gonna have to use the jar again. Because I don't think I have anything that proves it was in his safe, do I? Unless it's the picture that proves the jar is his? Maybe. Alright, maybe I'll try the picture first. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to use the picture. That's gotta be it. Okay. But for now, let's press these statements. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped.
Mr. Wright, what are you saying?
Damn it, Wright. Tipping cows is not right. It hurts them. It's not funny. Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Raito's prints are found. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. See, we needed a search warrant, damn it. Grr, I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. But again, as far as I'm aware, attorneys are not the ones that do the investigating. That's what all the cop shows are about. The police investigating. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. But the jar has Emma's name written on it. Well, shit, how are we supposed to prove that they weren't found after Dark was convicted, then they're... Sorry, muted my microphone halfway through that train of thought. Get some more water. I really do. I have a feeling that this stupid screwdriver is going to come into play at some point. But I don't think it will be here now. Okay, if they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. The chief is talking about a possibility. So long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, righto. Think about it. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure I care for the word murder here. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye.
Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Who?
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Ho ho ho! Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Oh god, his theme music came back in. Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Gee, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
Okay, good. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Interesting. So I guess now we have to prove what was in it for him, for helping out. I'm thinking it's the picture, though. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ho ho ho! Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Oh god. Oh god. Point out accomplice? True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. Oh, the music changed. Maybe that was right. But if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright? It appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
Oh, well, it would be Lana. It would be Lana because they're, oh, that's funny. We could have had, Gumshoe come and testify. That would have been really funny. Have the dead man come. Just kidding. Alright, yeah, it would be Lana.
Take that!
Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye? The defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from all of this?
Well, because then he'd have her in the office in order to do, like, she owed him a favor. And, you know, being someone in a high position owing someone else a favor, that's pretty intense, so. He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that, despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait!
Oh my god.
You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? Shit. We don't have her testimony or something saying that he called her. For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? Order! 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 I said order! This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder, that's, impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. I am so happy that we're on the same side right now. I like when this happens. This makes me so happy. Good old edgy boy. The ship sails on.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. Alright then.
Oh shit.
Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us the evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
Oh shit. So we know. Oh, the ID card. It's gotta be this.
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. I think I said too many sevens. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Oh, look at that face and the music. Oh, we nailed his ass to the wall. Let's go.
Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant? I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? Okay. Hold on. This shit is going so fast.
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Oh, hell, shit. can't be this. Oh! It's the lost item report can only be submitted to the chief of police. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report. Which means you can't be sure if he filled it. Oh, excuse me. Which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Who?
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly.
But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! Bro! That freak out! Dude, I gotta see that again. Oh my god, that's so cool. Hold on, y'all, I'm getting a phone call. My mother just called me, and apparently she's getting charged for, like, a program that I haven't used in years. Literal years, like 2016. Because the computer I had it on has been dead since, like, 2017. That's, and it's like, why are they charging her only now? I didn't even buy the program from that. That's so stupid. Whatever. Anyway, that's, unless it was, well, okay, you know what? That's neither here nor there. Let's just get back to the case.
Chief Gant, you didn't!
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need. Well, obviously he stuffed the body in Edgeworth's car because Edgeworth was the— Oh! Do we finally get to use the fucking screwdriver? Because that's why he called Edgeworth over to the office, was so he could stick it in his trunk. That's why. That's why we got the screwdriver finally. Alright, Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. There it is.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Better be this goddamn screwdriver. Take that! This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because— Ah! Flashback. I was asked to go, by Chief Gant no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car?
Yeah, we figured that shit out like hours ago. Actually, days ago. Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye.
Order! 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 What's going on here? I'm confused as hell! Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo. I'm just gonna, gloss over that mistake. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please, say something!
I believe your time's up.
My time's up? What, Mr. Gant, I know we're sort of accusing you of murder, but, I have nothing to do with this, so, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm going home.
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons. Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? That is not a right to be casually invoked! There are certain risks to be considered. So
you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. Oh god, shit.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor.
Do you have any concrete proof?
Oh, shit. We've kind of just been, like, you know, flying by the seat of our pants right about now, so... Oh, God, what do we have? Alright, let's see if he gives me, like, a leading question that I can answer. Okay.
Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body.
Do I have any concrete proof? Present evidence. I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor. I do have such evidence.
Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, shit. I'm really thinking about this parking stub. I don't know. I don't think that'll actually prove it, though. The shoe? Fuck, dude. I don't really know. Hold on. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, so... Shoot, I don't think I have the evidence. Really, what we need is Lana's testimony, I think. Shit. Alright, well, let's try the cloth anyway, see what happens.
So, what exactly is this evidence?
It's proof. As to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt, I'll let you be the judge.
But I am the judge!
Oh, right. Well, what do you think, Your Honor?
What I think, Mr. Wright, is I'm going to be late for lunch.
Aw. I guess it wasn't enough. Please, Your Honor, give me just a little longer to consider.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright,
Your Honor?
do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body?
Do I have any concrete proof? Oh, I guess I have to say I don't have any yet. Damn, okay. Shoot. I guess I don't. Damn it. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. Are you sure about that? Alright. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. Ha! See, Udgy?
In that case...
Sorry.
This court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Udgy, I'll leave the rest to you. Peace out, bitches! He just fades out of existence.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
What? Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. Oh, thank God. Thank you, Edgeworth, for saving my ass. I was about to say, I was like, did I pick the wrong option again? Is there no correct option? We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness? In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
She's over there sweating. Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth Lana Skye. She's the only person.
The defendant? Miss Lana Skye?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in
Hold on. Huh?
Oh, huh? Chief Gant? I thought you were going to eat!
Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah, this isn't good. Of course you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. All right then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Arrivederci, assholes.
This man just threatened someone in my open court, and apparently I have no problem with this. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
He's just allowed to do that. Just like threaten the defendant in open court. February 25th, 2:04 p.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief. He's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe! I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office! Oh my god, I would actually love this. My office? Sure! I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean... Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. It's almost like he has actual rights in the court system, and yet no one else actually exercises these rights. Oh man, okay. No more comments on that. Huh, settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said.
But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There's certain risks to be considered.
Risks? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Emma's back! Emma! Are you okay? Yeah. When I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? That you killed a man? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean, to follow Chief Gant's orders? She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. I was watching the VODs the other day, and I noticed that Discord was popping up through my video. But at least now I know I'll have to keep an eye on it because I just mute some stuff. So, yeah. So I'll have to keep an eye on it in my my spare time. But real quick, I got a message. Let me see. Okay, I'll keep that open and I'll reply to it later. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act. God, I hope so. This case is, taking a toll on me. Mostly because it's like, it seems like accidental murder. There's no, like, you know, what is the term I'm looking for? Not de-escalation, but they don't take that into account, essentially. So. Emma, why don't you wait here? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued. Again. Alright, let's go ahead and save the game. Hopefully this really is the last opportunity we have. Alright, February 25th, 2:21 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. This is literally the last day, so...
Now then! Will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand?
Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Witness testimony, Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dart convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Well, it had everything to do with Emma because of the fucking jar, dude.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana...
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Alright, so let's start by cross-examination, Gant and the fabrication. Let's of course start by doing the usual, pressing all of the statements. I have a feeling though that we're gonna have to use the jar because it has Emma written on it. So when she said, oh, this has nothing to do with Emma, it has everything to do with Emma. Damn, girl. Alright, I worked it alongside Gant for years. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
Ooh, yeah, that's always a bad thing too, by the way, is like, from what I've seen in like TV shows and stuff, and I'm pretty sure this is actually true, if you're found out to be lying on the stand in like a single case as an officer or something, that calls every single case you've ever closed into question because your credibility is now shot. So all that shit could be reopened. This is why forging evidence is bad, people. Follow the fucking law. She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. Are you sure about that? But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. Fuck, I forgot about that shit. No, I'm just kidding. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Go ahead and press this. Give me 1 second, though. I was starting to get a little warm in my apartment, so I had to go turn on my AC. Alright. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. Finally, they fucking said it, dude! Even though it seems like it doesn't matter, apparently. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana.
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. That's wrong! Because he was stabbed by the suit of armor. Was she not paying attention this whole time? Girl, come on, girl. That was an obvious mistake. Okay, the broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. Oh, shit! The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with even more lies. All just to protect me.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. Okay, so we did get more information out of that. Okay. So she broke off the tip of Dark's knife and planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. Okay, so tell me more. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound,
And then you moved the body?
but why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Alright, let's go ahead and save here real quick. What? She planted the knife in order to make sure that it was definitely him, because that's decisive evidence. I might come back and ask this question, but I definitely want to know why she moved the body, because that here is the main question. Why did she move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Okay. How so? Pieces of the jar, you mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there is more to it than that. Also, if we recall Gant's testimony, right? Didn't he say he didn't think the jar was shattered at the scene? So he was obviously lying about that one, if that's what Lana's saying. So one of them is lying for certain. Of course, we know both of them are lying, but still. Anyway, but I have a feeling there is more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Okay, so I'm gonna save here. I'm gonna press this statement, but it's either this statement or this statement, I think, that I need to present the jar, because the jar has Emma written on it. I think. I hope. Because this is the train of thought that I'm on right now, so, if it's wrong, I'm kind of screwed. Alright. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Alright. Okay. Okay, so it's either this statement or it's the last statement. So let's try the jar. Okay, got it. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. That's true. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. That's so true. I didn't even think about that part. I was just thinking about the fact that he wrote her name.
Order! Order!
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony.
Alright, witness testimony. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So she missed one. Either she missed it or Gant missed it. Again, we have no idea what she's actually telling the truth to.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Alright, cross-examination, jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. Alright, let's save here. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case.
Ouch, dude! But not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you'd do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
Alright. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. I don't think she was the first person on the scene. I think it was Gant. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. What? Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. But then why Why would you say that it was too dark to see anything and then say you had a fucking pen light, bro? God damn, girl. But I can't use that to point out that inconsistency. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene? Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After all, we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Okay, and that would be... Shit. Okay, hold on. Alright. Well, I know we already heard contradictions, but in terms of the evidence I actually have... Are we gonna have to present the jar again? Well, we know for a fact she didn't get them all, so I'm wondering if this is where we present it? Maybe? Alright, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Oh, thank God. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. That's what I said. Chief Gant got there before you.
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Can you believe that?
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that...
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
No! No! The judge has his own reaction shot. And it's just his standard cycle. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here!
I gotta say, the judges had some really good dialogue during this trial. This has been great. Okay. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question. What is the action called? Oh, what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believes her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Oh, wait! No, it can't be. I mean, she definitely did accidentally kill him. But if Gant was the first one on the scene, why would he cover that up? Was it purely just to get the favor? Is it possible the game's gonna tell us there was another reason? Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. Oh, okay. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Oh, she just bit her thumb, damn. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't! It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth.
Thanks, Your Honor. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Oh shit. Finally, it's getting good. I'm just kidding. Lana, maybe right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. Oh shit, dude! Bro! But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Fucking finally, dude!
Alright, the witness may testify once more, for the final time.
Here we go! Oh, this is so exciting! Witness testimony, actual crime scene. Finally, dude! When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought, she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable! The body was impaled on the armor's sword? You mean that thing that you guys just kind of came up with at the spur of a moment was actually real?
You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. Is it the Is it the camera? She did say she kept a camera on her. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. It's in the book! Oh my god! What? To me? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's in the book. She hid it in the book. It's gotta be a photo. It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Alright, the evidence law book. There it is! Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. Oh my god. This is gnarly, dude. Alright, we're gonna save real quick again. No other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Lana's picture inserted into the court record. Lana's picture, crime scene photo from the case 2 years ago taken. Mr. Wright! Yeah, there it is, the piece of cloth, finally, dude! That piece cut out from his vest, could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints are... They're yours, Emma! Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination, actual crime scene. Okay. What? What? Oh shit! Come now, Udgy. You can't, bro, you cannot just walk in here and just like hijack the entire thing, okay? Like, that's not right. Fuck this guy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen.
Chief Gant!
What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Ooh! Oh, my man. Oh, love this man. Grr. Grr. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't, but someone does.
Someone?
So, what's your excuse, Righto? Oh shit.
Oh hell, he's gonna call me out for the piece of cloth that has her fingerprints on it.
Fuck, dude, I thought I was gonna use that against him. Damn it, bro, he's gonna take it from me and use it against me. Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Shit. If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Shit, dude! Ah! Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? Oh god, shit. Oh my god, do I take the penalty? I can't do it. Nope. You know what? I'll take the penalty. I can't do it. I can't do it. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie!
Chief Gant?
You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. So he kept it as blackmail. Damn this guy. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area?
It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason.
You mean you had this in your safe?
What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence! This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department!
Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you admit to it?
But wait, he can't testify. He can't testify. Didn't we just say that? Hold on. I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her! I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dart convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why?
For insurance, of course. Insurance? Fuck this guy, he is evil. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence?
What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Alana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Oh shit, true facts! Ho ho ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Raito, cough it up already. I know you have it. Shit. Shit, dude. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant. That you are hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Raito. You should have shown it then before it was too late. Oh, shit. Wait, did I pick the wrong option? Fuck, dude. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Oh, shit. I do have to show it. Hey! Welcome! Do you have time to pop in? Because shit's about to get real. Although I'll have to pause the episode, or pause the stream to, and then come back. Because I don't think I can mess with, the sound. Wait, maybe I can. I think I can do that. Yeah, don't let me mess with it while we're in stream. Besides, I need a moment to, figure out what the hell I'm gonna do here. Shit. I still can't show the evidence, though, because it's incriminating. Okay, let me go ahead and open this. Yeah, sorry, hang on, you guys. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me make sure everything's coming through. It might not be though, so give me a second. Okay, try it now.
Can I be heard?
Except for now I can't hear you. But able to, I think. Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes. Okay, we're good. Alright.
Yay.
Okay, so... I mean, a lot of shit happened, even just this morning. But, like,
I mean, I see you've been going for 2 hours. A lot can happen.
Exactly. Oh my god, it's already been 2 hours? Holy shit, dude. Okay, so, when it started, Gumshoe came by to drop us off this evidence law textbook. And we were like, why did she give us this textbook? And I read it and everything, and I'm like, okay, this is weird, but whatever. Well, it turns out she gave me this textbook because she was going to give me this picture. And it's actually a picture from the scene of the crime when she came upon it. And so, of course, she was convinced that her sister had done it, so she was trying to cover up the evidence. But that didn't explain why there were pieces in the chief's safe. So we came to the conclusion that it wasn't her that was first on the scene, it was the chief. And so we've more or less proved that now, but now he's trying to flip that piece of cloth evidence against us, saying that that proves that Emma killed Marshall, because we were sort of going around with like, okay, well, maybe she didn't kill Marshall even accidentally, maybe someone else did.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's just like, no, you have the evidence that proves that she did it. And it's because of this picture that everyone else is like, oh yeah, a piece of his vest is missing, and that's the piece of cloth that we've had this whole time. So, he really wants me to show that evidence, and I'm like, I can't do it, man. And now... I still want to say I can't show it because I really don't want to show it, but everyone's gonna get pissed off at me if I don't show it. I don't think I have a chance anymore, so I'm gonna save and I'm gonna show it. Hopefully we can change the context of it so that it looks badly on him and not on Emma. That's my hope here. But he did at least admit to forging evidence, and hiding it, so you know that helps. Okay. Fine. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Alright. I hate this. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. At last, you finally brought it out into the open.
There's a handprint on this piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
You mean...
It could not have been forged. It must be authentic conclusive evidence. Ho ho ho! You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Raito had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that. Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
Oh, man. Very well. I'll tell you. No! Don't say it! Don't say it, bro!
Don't do it.
Don't do it! It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. Why should it be okay now? What do you mean? The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Okay, well, I mean, it is Emma Skye.
Emma? Emma Skye?
What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, you're really something, Raito. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me.
So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
What? How could you? You monster!
Miss Skye!
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Skye, it's not over yet. What? I'm as shocked too. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposefully concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. Okay, but, you were the one to do it first, so, what does that mean for you, bro? Just saying. If I'm going down, so are you. Bitch, don't test me. Alright. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter, cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What?
Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Skye, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, This piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? Bro, I'm as lost as you are. What the hell's going on, bro? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves that I need to save my game because I'm confused as hell myself. Who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict?
Okay, hold on. Okay, let me look at this thing one more time. This is a handprint, right? Yeah, someone left behind an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was, they must have had a really oily hand. Mr. Wright, think about it scientifically. Huh? A more likely explanation is the person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor. What? Getting wax all over their hand. Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though. It happens, you know. I always slip on the floors at school after they're waxed. What? So wait. This means she might have pushed him, but this doesn't necessarily mean that she's the one that pushed him onto the thing? I don't know. That seems like a reach. I don't know, man. Unless it has something to do with this picture. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. Hopefully the game gives me some sort of clue on what I'm missing.
What could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Oh shit! Behold the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. What? What? Is it the picture? No? Dude, I don't know! Is it also the cloth? I honestly have no idea, bro. I mean, the only thought that I have is it could be this photo, but how does this photo contradict the cloth? Because we know now that he was the first on the scene, so even if Emma did do it, and he cut it out as insurance, that doesn't contradict the cloth. Is it because there's no way she pushed him that high, but... Okay, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's gotta be the picture, though. That's literally the only piece of evidence I can think of, is it has to be the picture. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
It doesn't have blood on it! That's why! The piece of cloth doesn't have blood on it! How did I miss that? I'm an idiot! Oh my god. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth! Wait, there's no blood on it!
Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over. Oh my god, I can't believe I missed that. Oh my god. Wait, who objected to this? That was close, Righto. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. I don't think you're in a position to do that right now.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Oh, because of evidence law.
Order! Order! What nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Uji? Early old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Oh, so we didn't conceal it because it just wasn't the time to present it. And because of the evidence law. It has to go through, it hasn't been approved by the police department. And at the time, it wasn't relevant to the case on trial.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair! Ho 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 ho! Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed legal. Oh, excuse me, that is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. I'm glad you know what your plan was, because I had no fucking clue.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
No, I didn't. I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Uji, don't listen to his lies! He's nothing but a coward you can't really believe. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
Thank God she gave me that textbook. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And, here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Okay, but, okay. We're not nitpicking, but we are gonna nitpick, actually. I take that back. Fuck this. He did not approve that shit in the way that it's meant in the evidence law book. But whatever, I guess. Okay. We're done nitpicking. Let us continue on. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you.
The man's insane.
I know, right? It's great. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum! For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then, all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker as he was talking. He opened his evidence locker as he was taking the evidence out. He said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on the the bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was just too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry. I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Gah. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how could you get Miss Skye involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker? I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy. Why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Uh-oh, what does that mean? Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy.
What?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person.
Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Righto here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Skye? You no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered.
I'm sorry, Miss Skye. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Aww, she gave us a cute smile! The Bay! I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Skye. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. Huh, it was nothing. Liar. Yeah, liar, you were thinking about resigning. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I only did my job.
So, don't embarrass me in court, Babaka.
He's such a tsundere.
Mm-hmm.
I love this man.
In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky,
Not guilty.
Hey.
We did it! Now they have to hold like 8 different trials, though.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Because, I mean, they gotta put Damon Gant on trial for murder. They gotta put him on trial for falsification of evidence. They gotta put her on trial for falsification of evidence. Then they gotta go through fucking everything that they've done in the history. Potentially open hundreds of cases, including cases that now Edgeworth is gonna have to testify to as well. And, like, what he knew and what he didn't know. God, there's a whole can of worms, man. February 25th, 5:03 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. God, it felt like that took several days. Like, several actual days. Oh my god. Emma! Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals! God damn it, Gumshoe. Every time! Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lana! Lana! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. And hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, look at her. Oh, Emma. Emma. Oh. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. Oh, look at them! At least, that's what I felt, watching the two sisters make up. My heart, Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. I can just imagine him hiding behind a pillar. Or like behind the couch or something. Where was he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. He just ran away. He was so embarrassed. Poor thing. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. Oh, he's still here. He came back. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day, you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth? Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. Aww. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, You were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Oh god, I have to present something? What is it? Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. Ah, fuck, dude. Oh, the evidence list! Because I had one half and he had one half. Like my heart. Okay, it's gotta be this. That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Bitch, I was trying to fade out quietly. Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. Bye, babe. See you at home. I'd better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Aww, she's gonna give her a scientific investigation textbook. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. Aww, look at her. She's so cute. And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Aww. Faith that their lives have only just begun. But you know, she does still have to spend some time in prison, so that makes things kind of hard, so. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. You lying piece of shit. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective! I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who'll be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? Fucking gumshoe, dude. God damn it. You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it
I did not agree to this.
Yeah, right? I didn't agree to this. I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Objection. Oh my god. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Aww. I don't know how she's gonna manage that one, but you go, girl. That would be really cute if they were partners or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes! I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. Good, I'm glad we can't get rid of Gumshoe that easily. I love him.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a really decent case. There were a lot of things that made me nitpick it more than any of the other cases.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was really enjoyable. They had me though when I thought it was gonna be Emma that did it. Oh, my new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. I don't think Gumshoe is exactly the
role model
standard you want to aim for. I wonder who his partner is. I wonder if it's Marshall. Oh, it's the Blue Badger. That's funny. At least they didn't play the fucking music. That would have killed me. Oh, it finally died. The batteries finally died.
Finally.
Oh, he did go to prison. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Starr managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? I do like Marshall. He's a good guy. Like everybody else, he made some serious mistakes, but you know. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer's as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. I kind of hope she manages to get her job back as a detective. Considering she was fired under false pretenses, and she didn't actually really fake anything.
I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for, how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh no! I forgot my gavel! Sorry, gotta go!
This fucking judge, Mr. Left. So we're not an attorney right now? That was a weird statement for him to make. Maya! Ah! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Aw, we went to go visit her. Aw. Aw, he missed her. We're in Edgeworth's office! Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, it's the bellboy. Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea. Huh? What's going on? Oh, don't leave me on that cliffhanger. Oh my god, did he actually quit? Don't tell me Edgeworth actually quit. Game, don't do this to me. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Oh, we get to actually read it! Scientific investigation. Alright, I guess we gotta open it. A letter? Oh, look at them! Oh, it was back when she was a detective. Oh, so cute. All right, thanks for this game, Capcom. Well, there you go. We beat the first game.
Hurrah!
So, wait. Okay, so it did save. So now we can play any case that we want in any order.
Nice.
That's so cool. And I mean, I gotta say, I really like these cover images, but you can tell that the last chapter was added afterwards because it's just totally different. The theming of it is just totally separate. Because all they did was use official renders, really, except for the Blue Badger image. All right. Well, what did you think about the case and how it ended?
It definitely did not go where I was expecting like a dozen times.
Yeah, that one was definitely full of lots of twists.
I really liked it though. I hope we see
really
more
good.
of Irma and Lana.
Yeah.
Those two are great.
Yeah, they're I hope we get to see them again like they said. So that would be nice. Everyone else though, I doubt we're going to see everyone else. I have a feeling though at the very least we'll definitely see Emma again. All right. But with that, that's the end of the first game. We have officially beaten the first game. So, next time...
Success!
Yep. Success! Alright, so next time, we'll go ahead and we'll start Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. Thank you guys for watching and for joining us, and I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did. And we'll see you next time.
Bye all!